Hello and welcome back to the Really Big Podcast with me, Seb Gran.
Me, Ollie Johnson.
And me, returning, Sam Congrave.
He's back.
That he is.
Yeah. Oh God, he's back.
Oh, shut up. Nah, I'm kidding. You know I love you guys.
Okay.
Oh, gay. No, okay, we love you too, man.
Ah, good. I was worried I'd gone back to the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, what a trip you had. You were away for a month, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. It's just felt so foreign. You know how the small things just feel wrong. It's like, well, you know, it looks the same, but oh God, those roads are slightly curvier than they are in England. Oh God, that cola is red.
Okay, so Sam, tell us about your trip.
Oh, well, I was sick the first week I was there because I was up in the it was technically in the mountains and forests.
Technically? How can somewhere technically be in the mountains?
Because there are mountains around it, but we're not actually on the mountains.
So you're in the valley?
Well, it's kind of like the house where I was. It was built, the parts were built into the mountain, but you know, there's lots of other mountains around it. So it's not as backwater as you'd think, but it's all village. It's a massive village, so everyone is kind of in each other's business, which is kind of funny because when I went in there, I was expecting everyone to have pitchforks and all that.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows everyone else.
Which is awesome.
Which is
It's one of those communities.
Yeah, but it's really nice because you can walk down the street and everyone's like, "Hello, nice morning, isn't it?" And it's like, "Wow."
What, like even if it's cloudy?
Well,
they'll still say that.
Oh no,
just
no.
To be
Well,
kind.
no. It was very sunny up there for like one day. The rest of the time it was wet or it was snowing or something. Got to wear a kilt for a while.
Oh, that's awesome. What's it like? Because I imagine it feels like really free and comfortable.
Oh well,
like
it's very not
gown.
well. Not to sound cliche, it's nice and breezy.
Yeah. Oh.
Before anyone asks, yes, I was wearing something underneath because I didn't have time to change.
But do the locals do that? I never knew.
They don't, apparently.
They don't really do it as much as you'd think, but some of them do wear the kilt.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case.
You never know.
They have specific colours for clans, and I took my girlfriend's clan's one, which was the gun clan.
Okay, awesome. You've been away for a while. I bet I know what you want.
What do I want?
You want some odd news, don't you?
A little bit, yeah.
Odd news. Well, there's this town in America where a 4-year-old became the mayor.
I've seen a cat become the mayor of a place, so a child, I can just imagine it. My first order of business. I want raspberry jam. I want a Ribena. No, we've got to pay to, fix the roads and, pay off some ways. I want sweeties!
What do you think, Ollie?
I think this is not the most bizarre thing I've ever heard, but, stranger things have happened, but it's still a 4-year-old being mayor. Come on. It's obviously someone else who's running it. Like, maybe his dad wanted him elected so he could be mayor.
Like a figurehead? Even the kid's more trustworthy than he is. Anyway, more odd news. Have you heard that David Bowie's been in the news again?
What's he done this time?
Right, apparently he did a music video that offended people.
Oh.
And they took it down on YouTube.
Is this that weird one you kept trying to get me to watch?
No, this is a different one. Apparently he dressed up as Jesus in the music video.
And so what's wrong with that?
I don't know, I think there was... I haven't seen it yet, but there was something to do with someone
They
bleeding
have little
to death.
kids in plays dressing up as Jesus all the time.
I mean, why can't David Bowie do it?
I know.
Good point.
But I love looking at him today, because back then, he was typical glam rock, sort of, gave out that look. But now he just looks like he's always being given bad news. Like he's always being told that he's got prostate cancer. Just look at him, he never looks happy anymore. He's like, oh no.
Maybe because he's found out that there is no life on Mars.
Possibly. Maybe he saw the penis on Mars.
That was me.
Well, was that making life on Mars, I guess?
I hacked into the computers of the, NASA and programmed the robot to do that.
Also,
just for the record, I did not hack into NASA. Okay. I'm not capable of that.
Yeah, that's not admitting your guilt, in case anyone's listening.
I was joking.
Yeah. An alligator stopped a criminal escaping and pretty much solved the crime.
Really? How?
Sherlock Holmes.
Alright, I'll tell you the story. This guy was robbing a bank, And the people there were chasing him, and they sort of chased him into the swamps. But they knew that that was good, because there was an alligator there waiting for him that sort of snapped him up and grabbed him and pinned him down while the police arrested him.
What, so the alligator was in, like, what, cooperation with the police?
Well, he knew the criminal was coming.
Wait, so they radio the alligator, like, saying, Dundee, are you there?
Don't be ridiculous, Ollie. They have mobile phones now.
Was the criminal Captain Hook?
I don't know. Either that or Dr. Hook. Anyway, carrying on with the odd news. They found a fish that's so ugly that no other fish wants it.
It's good to see you've got an animal that sympathises with you.
Well, I wouldn't be able to do that, would I? I mean, you know. How could I relate to the way that fish lives?
Because you're so ugly, no one wants you.
That's the obvious joke to make.
No,
I know.
Sam, to be fair, Seb's looks are the least of his problems.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So
anyway, the fish.
Yeah, the fish.
Let's pick on the fish first.
Oh, come on.
Fish.
Let's not bully the fish.
No, anyway, this fish is an endangered species, and they're trying to get it to breed with other members of its species, you know, to sort of preserve it, but none of the other fish want it.
Oh, poor fish.
I mean, they might have to go to artificial insemination in the end.
What, to have more ugly fish?
Yeah, but it's this species, and, you know, the other members of its species won't have it because it's an ugly one, and I think it's like the last male of the species.
Maybe it's best to let these things just die off. I mean, you know, if you had a fly, if let's just say there was a fly that only existed to, you know, pass on the plague or something, and there was only one left, would you continue to let it breed?
But you can't really artificially inseminate a fly, can you? Because it's like too much effort. I mean, first you've got to pin it down, then you've actually got to get in there.
Look, I'd be okay with it being salmon because, you know, they're needed, but is this fish really, you know, is it edible?
I don't know, it's just a little ugly fish.
And what drove it to extinction in the first place?
I don't know, it's just a little ugly fish.
Does it have warts?
It's a fish, of course it's edible.
Not all fish are edible.
Most of them are.
Okay, right.
Okay.
More odd news?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, there were 2 aliens that were abducted by people.
What, did we get a DeLorean or a car fly over their planet and then just throw a rope out and pull them in?
There were these people who had these 2 alien gnomes. 2 alien gnomes in their garden, sort of decoration, and people took them away, and they were putting up posters saying 2 aliens were abducted. Can you help find them?
I'm trying to imagine what the probes are like, what we do to probe them.
You can't probe a gnome. I never thought to say that. Okay, that's going to go on the t-shirts.
Okay.
You can't probe a gnome.
You can't probe a gnome.
Oh yeah, we were talking the other day about this dream that Ollie had.
Which one?
You had this weird dream you were telling me about on the phone.
Oh god, that one. I was back at school. I was in, you know, the area where the lockers used to be, where they took them out and put sofas because they knew no one was taking their schoolwork seriously enough to warrant lockers.
Yeah.
Well, I was standing outside the lockers and suddenly, I don't remember how it started, but I was having a punch-up, like a fist fight with Mr. Young, the physics teacher.
Right, this was one of your teachers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're having a fist fight with a teacher.
Yeah, I managed to, get him down to one knee, and just as I was about to punch him in the head, I punched the wall and woke up.
My God, it's like something...
I know, I was literally lying down right I've got on the sofa next to him, and I just heard this thing like bang, and just got up. I thought the sofa had popped.
Bang! Oh! Because I hit the wall quite hard.
Like the Matrix. Anyway, Sam, you were telling me from there about a dream you had.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay.
Basically,
I don't want to know what's going on in your head, but I must ask, what was your dream about?
Well, Ollie was just sitting there, doing nothing, and then
change there.
Yeah, and I came over and just kept, and for some reason, I kept asking him why he wasn't eating his tea, and there was no food or anything in front of him. And then kept asking, why aren't you eating his tea? Why won't you eat your tea? Why won't you let him eat his tea? And then this was going on for like an hour, and then suddenly I realised I was dreaming because this was going on a ludicrous amount of time, and Ollie wasn't reacting. And then I was literally screaming, "Wake up! Just wake up!" And then I woke up finally. I'm like, oh, thank God. Then I told Ollie, and he wouldn't stop laughing for a good day, a day and a half.
Did I ever tell you guys about that dream I once had about Peter from the podcast?
I'm not surprised you dream about Peter.
The cinema one, Ollie.
The one where you were in the cinema with the hard-boiled eggs and the...
No. What's that?
You told me of a dream you had when you and Pete were in the cinema, laughing with your arms around each other, eating hard-boiled eggs out of a popcorn thing.
Fuck! I don't remember ever telling you that, and I don't remember having that dream.
Well, you definitely told me.
Okay. Look, this one's actually a bit weirder, believe it or not.
A bit weirder?
Right, this was when I first met him in year 6 at school. I only knew him for a few weeks, and then I had this dream about him. Pretty much, we went to this award ceremony, like the Oscars or something. We were all dressed up, he was wearing a tuxedo.
Yeah.
They were giving out this award. I don't know what it was for. But anyway, Pete won the award. He went onto the stage, and he couldn't stop laughing. And he was laughing on the stage for about 5 hours straight. So they got Pete.
And they didn't chuck him off in those 5 hours.
No. What happened is they got the ambulance to take him away in the end.
What kind of ambulance? Mental institution or hospital?
I think a hospital. But I only knew him for a few weeks. He just couldn't stop laughing after he received the award.
I don't understand if the award was shaped like a penis or something.
He's won the Roger.
No, he's won a Woody.
Getting a bit out of hand.
No, it's only out of hand if he's holding it like this.
No,
and it's got golden spunk.
Right, okay.
Okay, little bit too.
But when you laugh, do you know what it reminds me of sometimes? You know that sound from Tom and Jerry, the
Yeah.
when he screams?
Yeah.
That show had a lot of odd sounds.
What
was that?
I don't know.
It was...
It sounded... I don't know, when I looked back on it, I get thinking, my God, that's racist as hell. I mean, I know they got rid of that big black woman out of it because she...
Oh, I remember
Yeah,
her.
they took her out because apparently it was a racist character.
Thomas?
But then again...
Thomas?
But then again...
Where is that cat? Thomas? Thomas?
Well, God,
My grandma is like a white version of her. Okay, do you know what's weird? Pudsey. Why does he wear an eye patch? What happened to his eye?
Maybe you lost it in combat. I don't know.
Combat is a yellow bear that raises money for children.
You don't know he didn't serve in the army.
For that matter, why does Orville wear a nappy? I mean, it's a bird. When does a bird get toiletries?
Well, it's maybe the padding for the fact that he had someone's hand
I
up
had
his
a
ass
pet-
for so long.
Well, I had a pet bird once and it crapped on my head. At
What?
one point.
Well, okay, tell me this story. I haven't heard this.
Well, you know how you can sort of, if you push your finger up to a bird's chest, it'll get up on your finger and you can sort of...
Depends on the bird, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it sort of walked up my arm and then jumped up onto my head and I thought, oh, alright.
Carry on.
But then it shat on my head.
Oh, I love that. What sort of bird was it?
It was a cockatiel.
It's a parrot. Oh, look at Sam who's laughing.
It was a cockatiel. I bought it from a pet shop. They told me it was a boy, so I named it...
Well, you could tell, but it wasn't.
Well, apparently it's very difficult to tell with birds, but I named it...
That reminds me. Did you know that they didn't that most birds don't actually have penises?
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah. But it crawled up on the... took it home from the pet shop. They said it was a boy, so I named it Dave.
Okay.
And then it laid an egg 2 days later.
Did you know that male birds don't lay eggs at the time?
Yes, I did. I was about 12.
God, I feel old. I mean, I was just listening to Coldplay the other week, and I found out that they're at least 12 years old. But doesn't it make you feel old?
Sometimes.
It does. Sometimes, yeah.
Well, I feel like the old one in my house because my sister's listening to all this hip-hop stuff and I keep going how terrible it is and how music was better in my day.
Back then, we complained about all the hip-hop, but it's actually quite good compared to what we have today.
Well, I wouldn't say music in my day was better because my day constitutes the 90s. So, yeah.
I
mean, we had Eminem back then. I mean, he's still better than half of them.
Eminem always concerned me because his music seemed, he didn't seem to understand that some of the things he said may have consequence.
It reminds me a bit of us on the podcast.
Well, the thing is, he didn't realise... No, the thing is, we know what we're saying. He just said things and thought it wouldn't have any consequence. He got sued several times by his family.
I do like how he pretty much just uses it as a platform to...
Then he kept making things about murdering his wife quite a few times.
I like it when he insults celebrities on his song because I like how people always, take his word for it. Oh my god, is this true, Limp Bizkit? Did you really do that?
Of course not, it's music.
If you assume he's lying, he's harmless.
While I was at college, in my first year, we went to a trip to this theatre. I think it was in Solihull or around that area. Questionnaire we had to fill in. True and false questions. There were about 10 of them. But all of them were true in the end.
Okay, that's a really great...
And some of them really made me laugh.
Okay.
Like, apparently, one person once got up onto the stage from the audience to ask an actor where the toilet was.
Oh, I love that. Oh wait, I thought you were supposed to know these things. You're the king, aren't you?
It was just someone in the background and they took no notice. They just sort of kept their position.
That's awesome. Hey mate, I'm talking to you. Stop blanking me. I don't care if you're talking to the three witches.
Come on, I need to take a piss.
That was the funniest one, I thought.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that there was pizza delivered into the auditorium.
It's awesome.
Apparently they'd said afterwards that it was an arranged thing and everyone got a bit of pizza, which is nice.
Well, including the actors on the stage?
Well, no, this was before the performance. Everyone was given pizza, apart from the actors, of course.
Yeah, you can just imagine him, like, towards the end of Macbeth. Macduff sort of like, I'm going to kill you, Macbeth, but first, let's eat pizza.
Let's have Domino's.
Yes.
Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by the son of York. Anyone order pizza?
Made glorious by this pepperoni.
Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him. Wait a minute, get rid of that skull I'm trying to eat.
Alas, poor Yorick, I shall chew him
apparently, someone smuggled fish and chips into the auditorium and tried to eat them during the performance.
Smuggled? Are there any checks before you go in?
Well, you're not supposed to bring in outside food, and especially not fish and chips. It's like really noisy to eat them, and the smell goes all over the place. It's not considerate of everyone else. Yeah, what was the other one? A couple had to be refrained from heavy petting in the audience. They were in, like, the front row.
Oh, I always loved the term heavy petting, although when I was a child I thought it had some, like stroking, I thought that's what it meant. Like, with dogs and...
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, when you stroke a dog on the head so far, you think his eyes go...
Yeah, when the eyes sort of widen, like, oh my god.
Yeah, but no, that's not what heavy petting is.
No, What is it? Oh, you're joking, I know.
But yeah, and someone died in the audience once. Yeah, apparently someone had a heart attack or something and nobody noticed until the performance was over.
I love the critic went, see, you've bored this man to death.
There was some weird stuff happening.
Talk about weird stuff. I remember I was on another school trip. I don't know why school trip's coming up, but anyway. One of the teachers who was really quite fat was with us, and we sat down to eat dinner, and they brought out this cheese board, and of course everyone's got to try some of the cheese on the cheese board, but she thought it was all for her, and she ate it all. Just shoveled it all in and...
Sorry, I think I know the teacher.
Yeah, I'm not going to say who she is. I'm just going to put her address on the screen now.
Did she study French or anything, Understand that, in France you're not supposed to.
I think she just enjoyed eating the food.
I know,
well, I know which teacher you're talking about because you've told me about this before and you mentioned it by
even
name.
so, eating all the cheese. Were the French offended?
I think they tried to explain it wasn't all for her, but it was too late.
How quick did she eat a whole...
Did she pick up the whole thing?
It was quick. It was.
Oh God! I hope she apologised afterwards.
I never got that thing about tasting a bit of cheese. It's like drinking a bit of wine.
Well, it's just how wine tasting is because there's so many different variants, and you're not supposed to swallow the wine. You're supposed to just drink it, put it, sip it, swivel it around your mouth, then spit it into like a little spittoon thing.
But what's the end result? Is it supposed to make you want to buy the wine?
Well, I don't really know. I think it's just so you can taste it. That's really
It's a social thing, really.
It's a social thing. It's like, and this is, a 1970s one. Mr. Gran, did you tell your teacher she wasn't supposed to swallow the wine?
But why do you spit it back out? Do they reuse it?
No, I don't think so.
I think it's just so that you don't get too pissed.
But imagine if, this wine tasting company were going out of business and they had to resort to reusing it. It's got a strange oniony taste. Yeah, I've been eating Monster Munch.
I don't think that the upper class, high society buy Monster Munch. They don't go...
There's something to talk about. If you won the lottery, what would you do with the money?
Spend it.
Some people have no imagination though, because my sister's dad, Marcus, Harriet asked him, if you won the lottery, what would you buy with the money? He said, an Aston Martin.
Yeah.
And that's it. Okay.
Did anyone even bother saying like James Bond? Or is that just too obvious?
I think it might be a bit too obvious, but...
Yeah.
If an Aston Martin is all you want with like millions of pounds, then
give the rest to starving children.
Yeah, I mean, I commend you for not being greedy, but such a limited imagination.
Do you know what is going to make us lots of money?
What?
My patented movie reviews.
Oh. God.
This is where I review a movie. I'll tell you what I've reviewed. Domino. Anyway, I can see by how nonplussed everyone is, including Ollie, who's more nonplussed than he usually is, that none of you have seen this movie.
I've never heard of this.
I'll tell you. Pretty much, it's about this girl. She's played by that person from Pirates of the Caribbean. What's her name? Kira Swan. Yeah,
Keira
that's
Knightley.
right. Yeah, Kira Swan. Anyway, she's got a dad who's famous. He was in movies, and she goes to a school where they bully her, and she sort of fights them, and she sits on a sofa in the city, and anyway, she gets bored, so she goes to this meeting because she wants to be a bounty hunter, but they don't want her to be a bounty hunter. Anyway, so she throws the TV at the car and she becomes a bounty hunter.
How does that work?
Is that an initiation, right?
Like, I'm sorry, you can't be a bounty hunter. Oh yeah? Well, how about I throw this sound at this TV? Yeah!
There's a question for review.
Well, I'm questioning the review because so far all you've said is she went to a private school, got bullied, then beat them up, and then decided. Then after the beating up, suddenly she's in the city somehow, sitting on a bench.
It's one of those stylish movies that's not in the right order, so I've pretty much put it into the right order. I've saved you some time.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. She goes to Mexico with the other bounty hunters. She gives him a lap dance, then she finds out where he is. Then there's these people dressed as the president's wives. And,
Look, the president has two wives. The president has more than one wife. He's like, this is my first lady, and my second lady, and my third lady. Get 'em, girls.
Anyway, the president's wives sort of steal all this money, and they go away. And there's this mafia guy who goes underwater to make phone calls. They have to find them. Something happens with the DMV. There's this prick of a guy who they sort of beat up at the DMV. There's also this woman who's an old mother. I'm trying to remember what happens next. There's this man who's in a trailer and he gets his hand cut off and he's got a tattoo on his hand. And they open the vault and then they go to this building. Everything explodes. First there's a sex scene, then everything explodes in the building and they sort of escape and she's being interviewed at that point. And that's the end of the movie. So, any questions?
I don't know.
What was the film about again?
It was about a bounty hunter, played by Keira Knightley or Elizabeth Swann, or whatever her name is.
Well, even so, it sounds ludicrous.
Okay, and I rate it 12 out of 11.
Good, was it?
Yeah, it was good. It was probably the best movie I ever seen, other than Dunstan Checks In. The penultimate feature of the show, back by popular demand. Well, back because we just forgot to do it. What is this? I'll explain the concept for those who are just tuning in now.
Which will be most of them.
Yeah, anyway. I give them a picture, and they have to tell me what the picture is. It's quite simple. And they're given a week to figure it out. Okay, do you want me to tell you what the previous picture is, which is up on the screen now?
Okay.
It's not a tiger, and it's not a lion.
It's a liger.
That's right! It's a liger! Sam got it!
Yay!
Do you know what a liger is, guys?
Is it when a lion fucks a tiger?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're like mules. I think they're infertile, but you can make ligers out of tigers and lions. And the interesting thing is ligers...
What about bears?
They're not feline, it's not...
Oh my.
Ligers are the biggest cats ever, because they're bigger than lions and tigers put together.
Wow.
So yeah, I taught you about ligers. Right.
I already knew kind of about one.
Okay, fair enough. Good on you. Right, I'm going to show you both the picture of the week, so tell me, what is this on the screen now?
That looks like a cat with only 2 legs.
Ollie, what is it?
Looks like some sort of statue. Because I don't think that's alive.
What, currently, or...?
It looks like a cat with a birth defect, so that the entire body, it's like got its head connected only to its lower body, and it's become like one of those things from Star Wars. You know, those little things that are on Endor. It's become the cat version of the thing from Endor.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you both what is this next week, but this week we've got a special guest on the show.
Ulthor Longbeard.
Hello! I'm back from my travels, and I'm here to answer more questions that plague you. The first question is thus. Dear Ulthor, I have to make a trip with the family, and I can't stand being in a van with all those kids and relatives. What can I do to keep them quiet? Well, young man, threaten them as usual, or fake that your iron horse is broken, and pack many ropes, tie them to the transport, and make them pull you to your destination. Wonderful. I did the same thing to my mother-in-law. The bitch was asking me to get her a new deerskin. I said, wench, pull my sled! And I made the dog sit next to me as the fat cow dragged me. She died of exhaustion after only a few feet. The second question. I have a big family, and I struggle to feed them all. How can I manage my budget and feed my family? Well, wench, you know your family better. Refuse to feed the weak. Feed only the strong. Make them fight for each meal, hopefully with weapons and alcohol. And execute or banish the weak. The last question is this. Dear Ulthor, I wish to bond with my father-in-law. How can I prove I'm man enough for his daughter? Ulthor had this same problem. Arrange a night out with all the men and invite your father-in-law. Drink as much as you can and fight to show your dominance and that you are worthy of his respect. Outdrink him, outfight him, and he will respect you more. Just don't kill him. Leave only slight bruises and broken ribs. If he ends up in a wheelchair by the end, you've done your job. If he's a vegetable, he'll respect you even more. If you kill him, dispose of him in the typical Viking way, and put him on a boat and set it on fire. That should be legal in this time, right? I'm Ulthor. And send me your letters!
That was very good.
Intense.
Ollie, I'm worried. It's been 21 episodes and you still look sort of confused and vacant.
Oh, that's just my normal look.
That's just his face. You can't really judge him for his face, you bastard.
Do you know what he looks like? Did you ever see that Rover Dangerfield cartoon?
I did, yes.
He looks like that! I'll put the picture up now. He looks like it.
Thanks a fucking bunch.
Anyway, that's enough.
Sergey, sir, I think you look like a skinnier Peter Griffin.
Okay, make fun of Ollie first, then
Fine. Ollie To me, he just looks like a potato with features.
That's enough for this week. See you next week. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Help!